I'm always home all day on the Sabbath. Sundown Friday to Saturday sundown. I'm going to buzz through these because I want to show you some just Sabbaths. Huck Salt, all these places. Now this is actually a vehicle. Someone physically arrived at my property at 7:35 a.m. What the hell? They were at Huck Salt from 12:24 a.m. to 2:33 a.m. and then arrived at my property at 7 a.m. I was home. So who was trespassing on my property? This is a physical vehicle that followed me down the highway to Harbor Shipping and Freight. I went there once, but it's showing 2 visits at Harbor Shipping and Freight. And this is the guy who followed me into the building. I went there right before they closed, and the man stood there listening to our conversations. I was talking to a network specialist who just happens to be working there about the problems that I've been having with my network being hacked, etc., etc. And this guy came in behind me, stood at the end of the aisle, so we have him on time date stamp, where we can pull the footage, the video footage, and get this guy's picture and intently listen to our entire conversation. Didn't wander around the store, didn't shop, didn't do the stuff that he had any business doing. Too busy interested in everything that we were saying. And I was asking the guy, I went there the day before to buy a solder because my laptop had been sabotaged and I needed to repair a physical piece on it. And I didn't have a solder with a fine enough tip, so I bought it the day before. And spoke to the young man at the counter who works there, and he says, well, this is a side job. I have my own business, and like everybody, we've been hit by COVID and struggling to make ends meet, so he's working at a side job, but he works in network security. It didn't register with me at the time, but when I got halfway home, I was like, I should have asked him about what I need to do to protect my data, since I'm tech savvy and everything I knew how to do wasn't working. You name it, buying additional equipment, you name it, and they were still finding ways in. So I'd been out teched. So I went back hoping around the same time that I met him of day that he was working that day, and it turns out he wasn't, but he just happened to walk in right after me. Well, the data shows that someone followed me to Harbor Shipping and Freight, and this blonde-haired guy was so intently listening to everything we were discussing and saying, and didn't do his shopping or whatever he so-calledly came into the store to do. And so we'll have him on surveillance camera for this date. And it shows, now this is a physical stalker. You see they're on the highway driving and physically stalked me to the location. And that's what I was saying. And then this is like a little back road. But we've had physical stalkers many times stalking me to locations and following me places. Now this is also, has to be, as well as a drone. Now, the way Google tracks is whatever phone is the busiest. If you own 2 phones and you're signed into your accounts and your stuff is set to track, or any of the Google, Microsoft, all the different places that track your whereabouts and activity, they will go with the one that's most used. Well, I'm an older person, so I don't use my phone a lot. I'm old school. I've spent an entire lifetime, I'm a senior citizen, before we had these cell phones. They're a pain in the ass to me. I don't really want to be bothered with this stuff a whole lot. You know, other than picking up the phone to call somebody in the family, which I can do at home. I don't like people calling me when I'm driving. I will not answer. I don't text and drive. I hardly ever text, period, because pick up the damn phone. I'm old school. I'm sorry. That's just where I come from. So I was followed to the location, and someone showed up in the location and hung around and lingered about, didn't do any shopping, was too interested in what we were conversating about. But let me get back to my Saturdays, because that was the whole point of this particular video, because this is 4 years of data, and every day more stuff is being added. But I don't go anywhere. It's the Sabbath. So all of this recorded activity is not me. I didn't leave my home at 1:57 p.m. I didn't arrive home at 8:30 p.m. I didn't go anywhere. When it has me coming home at 10:57 p.m. and stuff like that, no, I don't stay out late. I don't like driving in the dark. Again, older person who is sick. No. Let's move up to another Saturday. Again, the Sabbath. I did not arrive home at 1:31 a.m. Someone else brought their ass to my property at 1:31 a.m. And it shows from the night before. Whoever was at my house left at 5:34 p.m. and then arrived back at my property at 1:31 a.m. And judging from get out the way. I would say that this is an aerial because it's crossing places that a car can't travel. Unless it's an ATV. This isn't too hard for an ATV or like a motorcycle to traverse, but a regular car couldn't do this. Let's get back to my Saturdays. Yeah, home all day. That's a typical Sabbath for me. It says I arrived home at 4 a.m. Again, old and ill. There ain't no way in hell I'm even up at 4 a.m. No, this is not me. So something or someone arrived to my home at 4 a.m. It was not me. Right now I'm just focusing on Sabbaths. Home all day, of course I am. Was followed because all of this data is someone else following me. Again, it records the phone that's used the most. And I don't hardly use my phone, so it's recording other people. Following me and tracking me. But right now I just want to focus on Sabbaths. Because several of these Sabbaths had the Navy base. See? Left at 2:24 p.m. and went to the Navy base, arrived at 2:30 p.m. I've never been to the base. And multiple times on the Sabbath, you'll see someone leave my property and go to the Navy base and arrive in the middle of the night. And this is not me. And this is not my activity. And again, this has to be a helicopter or some type of an aerial vehicle because a land vehicle cannot traverse. Look at this route. You can clearly see it's over buildings and such. Just the way this individual's flying, whatever the hell they're flying, they're wasting a ton of fuel. And regardless of what they're using, it's using a lot of fuel. And here we go. It even shows you what building at the Navy station. Now let's go to other Saturdays. Right now I just want to focus on Shabbats. I don't know anybody at the Dayton RV park yet. Somebody that Friday went to Dayton RV park. It wasn't me. At 4 something at night, it's about to be Shabbat. It's about to get dark. My butt was home. And some of the data has been erased. Someone had been getting into my accounts and deleting, but we had already downloaded all the databases, and I've already given the databases to federal authorities. So they thought they were being cute and trying to, again, the Shabbat. Arrived at 7:43 a.m. to my house. No, I was already there. Where would I be? I was probably still asleep. I had to sleep in on Shabbat. That's one of the good things about having Shabbat. It's your day off. So somebody arrived at my place at 7:43 a.m. It wasn't me. Somebody arrived at my place at 10:24 a.m. and was there till 10:47 p.m. Again, it's Shabbat. I never left. I've been home since the night before. Now, someone left my property at 11:42 p.m. the night before. And who was that? It wasn't me. And again, the route that they took, it had to be a helicopter or some type of a drone. And where did they go? It looks like they landed on top of JD Slingers. Now I'm skipping ahead because this is a lot of data and it's going to take months. Again, a Shabbat. I didn't leave home, so they're at Bonanza Casino. They arrived at my house at 1:58 p.m. And this is through a reservoir. It's empty, so a land vehicle could travel it, but it would have to be something like an ATV or a motorcycle. This is my property, and this is the hill behind my property and on my property, which happens to be one of the common landing spots constantly with the helicopters and the illegal trespassers on the property. Oops, let me go back to that Friday. Yes, I was home all day. This is the day my dog died. She had been poisoned. Poison had been put in the water, the drinking water of the animals. And 4 of the animals was fed that water before I realized there was something wrong with it. We don't have a well on this property, so I have to bring all the water to the property. Someone left my home at 1:09 a.m. It wasn't me. Fallon Station. So someone left my property at 2:28 a.m. and went to the military base to Fallon Station at 2:28 a.m. To 8:28 a.m. Even with my glasses on, that small writing. And they made a trip to Starbucks, it looks like. Look at all this activity. This was not me by any shape or form. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That's my property. So they were back and forth. It looks like 3 different times. Let's make this smaller so I can see it better. I went somewhere way out here. Fallon Station. Now this is saying Fallon Station over here, but I think this is a false reading like with the other times. This thing is logged into Fallon Station, so it's giving off a Fallon Station coordinate, but this is... What street is this? Does it say? This is down Highway 116 quite a ways, down Stillwater Road-ish. I don't know what's at that location. It's not giving up any addresses. Not even when you blow it up. It's not even giving me a street address. Let's see if I can go further down. I'm not seeing even a name of a street. And it's not showing any buildings at this location. Doesn't mean there isn't any, it's just not showing it. But anyway, this is what I'm trying to establish, is that there's a tremendous amount of this going on at times, and I can easily prove I had nothing to do with whatever the heck. Like on a Shabbat, I keep my butt home. The Navy Air Station again. Now this time this is actually the physical Navy Air Station at 7 a.m., which of course I've never been to, so no. And then they arrived, so they left straight from the Navy Air Station to my house on this day. So it was flown straight from the Fallon Naval Station to my house. And I'm skipping the week, I'm just doing the Friday night and Saturday. Okay, this is one of those times when I was able to get them out of my phone for a minute, and then they got right back in. Like I said, I changed my SIM cards a couple of times. Okay, this night 2 vehicles was caught on camera about 20 feet from my camp. This is the day, property in the canal, where they had fire. Where is it? And I couldn't call the sheriff. I couldn't get any phone calls out. Vehicles only access my property. They access my property through the canal, Clint Allegre's property. Okay, this isn't the day that they had the fire. And it says someone left my property at 3:25 a.m. that day. Of course I did not. And arrived back at my property at 2:39. And again, this is not a route a vehicle can traverse. And there were vehicles illegally on the property. And they accessed my property through the neighbor's property. But we have 4 years of data that puts people on the property, and it shows what location they left from and where they went afterwards, where crimes were committed and animals were injured and things like that. So we have a lot of data